So, another question that I really wanted to ask is, for those who say that voting doesn't matter, I mean, we hear it
Mm,
all the time. We hear it, from young people, we hear
yes.
it from people who said, I voted once, or, nothing ended up materializing the way that I wanted it to. So,
Mm-hmm.
at this time, I just don't see a benefit to voting. So, I would like to know, how should we reframe that
Such
conversation?
a good question. Um, so to give a little background, myself and my colleague Reagan from the
Mhm.
League of Women Voters,
Mhm.
we've actually been doing sessions with some of the freshman students at Johnson C. Smith
Yes.
around voter education.
Mhm.
And so it's been extremely eye-opening to have some just like open dialogue with the students.
Mhm.
And we had one particular student actually say, raise their hand and openly say, like, I don't know why, voting is even an important thing, the way I was raised. um, my parents used to say it's no point in voting, nothing's going to happen, nobody in my family votes, that's just not something we do. So
Mhm.
unlike our upbringings where we saw the importance
Mhm.
of voting, we
Mhm.
also have to come to the reality that some people are
Yeah.
other upbringings may
Mhm.
not have had that. And first, when those conversations come up, I think it's important that we take time to listen. I
Mhm.
think we a lot of times, especially the diehard we gonna vote
And I
people, you
appreciate
know
the
what?
honesty that she
Exactly.
even raised her hand to say,
Correct.
"This is my perspective and opinion
Exactly.
around it." Yep.
And it's
Mhm.
important that we
Yeah.
make space for that. And
Yeah.
so when she said that, we were like, I understand your perspective. I know that sometimes you feel like you just throwing something out there and hoping that something happens, and it doesn't happen. Like you said, it may not,
Mhm.
materialize the way you hope. But we just want to make sure you understand, like, from your background, understanding your
Mhm.
history,
Mhm.
um, and what your ancestors fought and died for, of course.
Mhm.
But also, along with voting, there are so many other ways to become more civically engaged.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
finding other ways to not only
Mhm.
say, okay, I did my vote thing and I'm done. I
Mhm.
think it, community wide,
Mhm.
we all need to think about, okay, we voted, but what else can we do to really engage our community
Mhm.
in things that matter?
Mhm.
How can we support our community? How
Mhm.
can we be a voice for our
Mhm.
community? How are we working with other stakeholders in our community to create change too? So when she did say that, we did have that open conversation with her,
Mhm.
like, voting doesn't have to be the end all be all. That's
Mhm.
one piece.
Yes.
But there are other ways that you can be just as engaged in your community and really fight for change.
Mhm.
And we know there's systemic things at play. So we
Mhm.
need you to vote,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
there's some systemic things that need to be undone and all
Yes.
those different types of things.
Yes.
And the beauty of that conversation was at the end of the session, she
Mhm.
felt comfortable enough to actually register to vote. And she wanted to
Wow.
register to vote in her hometown,
Okay.
which is another space in North Carolina,
Yeah.
because she said she wanted to set a tone for her family.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so, when you create
Mhm.
space for those conversations and really
Yeah.
like have an open dialogue, like, I get it,
Mhm.
sis,
Mhm.
I understand, sis,
Mhm. Mhm.
then you never know what'll go. Because we were not expecting her to register to vote at the end, but
Yeah.
she did.
I love that.
So
I love that. And you
it's a
made her feel
conversation.
comfortable